My name is Ronnie, and I'm a student at ISBAT University, and I'm doing diploma in networking and cybersecurity. I'm here to discuss one of the major cyber crimes that did happen in the year 2021. This cybercrime is significant because it carries an impact, like it actually affects like everyone. So I picked out this crime for that reason. And the crime is in the year 2021, August, a very renowned journalist, an American journalist called Matt Honan, was hacked and was hacked by a group of people, and most of his data on all his Apple devices was deleted. His Google account was hacked, which gave them access to literally like all his social media accounts, and through that they were able to like tweet out like racist and homophobic messages, which didn't portray a good image of him. So the funny thing about this attack is that it could actually be carried out by anyone. So this attack is happened in a way that the hackers actually managed to pull it off without even writing any script of code. So the only tools they needed was a web browser, a telephone, and some available personal information online. So this is how it was done. So first, the hackers collected all the information they needed about Matt Honan from his social media profile accounts, like his email and his physical address and some other information. So they used this information to crack his Amazon account. So they did this by calling Amazon. So they called Amazon, pretending to be Matt Honan. They used some personal information about him and a fake credit card. And they actually managed to convince the Amazon workers to be able to reset his Amazon password. So by doing this, they actually gained access to his Amazon account. And also gaining access to his purchase records, his bank information, and his credit card information. So after this, they went on to crack his Apple ID, which also happened in the same way. So they used the same technique. So with the little information they had got from the Amazon account, they called Apple customer care services, pretending to be Matt Honan again with the information that they had collected from his Amazon account. So they called Apple, pretending to be Matt Honan again. So they requested for a password change of his Apple ID, and they're also successful in doing this. So with access to his Apple ID, they had enough information about his Google account, and the next step was to attack his Google account. So with enough information, they were able to make a password reset also on his Google account. So they had access to his Amazon account, his Apple ID, his Apple account, and his Google account. So his Google account was linked to like all his social media platforms. That was like Facebook, LinkedIn, and Twitter. So with access to this Google account, that means they had full access to his social media accounts. So they carried out these attacks. First of all, they used his social media accounts to tweet out racist and homophobic messages to the public and to organizations and to political personnel, and they also deleted his Gmail. This was years of emails. So they deleted his email, and they were able to request Apple to delete all the data on his Apple devices. Like all his Apple devices were linked to his Apple ID, so they're able to access. They requested for that remote data wipe, which was successful. So all his Apple devices lost the data was lost. So after that, they deleted his Google account. And they were unsuccessful, because they also tried out, with bank information they had collected from his Amazon account. They actually tried to also hack into his banking, his bank account, but they weren't successful because the bank account was actually linked to a different email. So they're unsuccessful by that. This attack is called an exploit, where they exploit vulnerabilities within the systems and try to use them to their advantages. So the hackers managed to violate the CIA. This is confidentiality, integrity, and availability of data. So they managed to violate the confidentiality of data when they accessed his accounts and viewed his private password digital accounts. So by doing that, they violated the confidentiality of the data. And the integrity, they violated the integrity of the data when they made unauthorized changes to the data, and also unauthorized tweeting of messages that weren't from Matt Honan, and also deleting the data. So the last one in this, it's the availability. So availability was violated when the hackers changed his passwords. So they deemed him not to be able to access his accounts. And they also went further to violate the availability of data by requesting for a delete, a remote data wipe from his Apple devices. So the causes of this attack were actually very, very simple, and these are things that we personally ignore, in our day-to-day lives, especially when we're engaging more with the online world. So one of the reasons that made it so easy is that when you look at his Google account, he had linked all his social media accounts to his Google account. So having access to his Google account gave you access to all his social media accounts. So that is one fall, and that is something that is literally very common to everyone and every one of us here. And one other thing is that he's a famous person, but being a famous person, he actually provided more personal information online, and this also helped the hackers to actually pull off this attack. So he provided more information about him online, personal records, and So I would suggest the solutions to this is that when we talk about his account protection policies, I think if he had authorized a two-factor authentication, this is where you don't only have to use your password as your key to log into your account. You can use this two-factor authentication, a code could be sent to your phone, and this is only to your phone. So this would give hackers a hard time because they wouldn't have access to your phone. So this two-factor authentication is actually very, very, very common to most of the accounts, the Google accounts. They provide for this. So this would have helped him to secure his accounts. In case the hackers were able to crack his password, they wouldn't crack the code, because the code was sent to his personal phone. And I think he would have reduced the impact of this attack if he had backed up the data, not to because when they requested for a remote data wipe for these Apple devices, they deleted everything. So this data was located in maybe on the iCloud, and for that it only had one location, and deleting it from that location means that the data would be gone like for good. And one other thing, I think the obvious one is he should have reduced the information he provided online about him, because this was the major reason that these hackers were able to pull off this, because they had enough information about him. So this cybercrime is significant. It may not be like the major cybercrime, but it shows us that like everyone can be hacked, like for different reasons. So, and everyone can pull off an attack. So it calls for more security online, in our accounts. And as we head into this vast digital era of the Internet of Things and the domination of AI devices, which increase the risks of these attacks and make them more highly capable of being carried out, we should be more conscious of how we interact online, and how we protect ourselves and our data and everything that we use online, because these hacks can be devastating. And this attack did actually cause that much damage because it was on a video. But the recent cyber attacks that were recorded in 2021 were around 3,900, and among those 3,900, 1,900 attacks were carried out in the US. So I call for more security, and we should be very conscious with our interactions online. Thank you.